AITA for telling my best friend that she can't care for her child. I, 31 female, have been friends with my best friend Jill, 26 female, for a number of years now. She and I have been through a lot of ups and downs together, but have been solid in our friendship the entire time. Jill and her husband had a child 3 years ago, and I love them to death. I would do anything possible for them. Jill has been very vocal in her desire for another baby and is trying to conceive again. Jill and her husband struggle financially in a very big way. Every month, they are asking people for money to cover rent or their other bills, but then constantly order out or indulge in their habits when they have spare money. I have helped them several times as well, as I don't want to see them be evicted. About 6 months ago, I came into an inheritance when my great-aunt passed away. It wasn't much, but enough for me to have a nice starter retirement fund and some money for an upcoming vacation for my husband and I. Jill asked me if I could help her, and I ended up giving her a somewhat large amount of money, more than just a couple $100s, but nothing crazy, so she could keep caught up on bills for a couple months. However, she ended up spending it all and saving none of it. Yesterday, she called and asked if I could help her, as she needed groceries. I said I had already helped her immensely and declined to give her more money, but offered to buy her some groceries. Jill complained, saying that I should help her family because I was not struggling like she and her child are. I became angry and said, "And you want another one when you can't even care for the one you have now without handouts from everyone?" Jill became upset, called me an asshole, and hung up. She is now not speaking to me. My husband is on my side, but I feel bad for blowing up at her. Am I the jerk? Edit for clarity. There have been a few questions in the comments about finances and stuff, so I figured I would clear them up. One, my husband and I do share finances from our jobs, but the inheritance is mine only. 2, I have offered to assist with her budgeting multiple times, but she always tells me she doesn't need my help. I asked if she wanted the number to my financial advisor, and that almost started a fight. 3, my husband is definitely exhausted with her asking for money, which is why I haven't given her any in 6 months, since I gave her the larger sum. She has asked, I have said no, so this was not something I just said after one conversation. I blew up out of frustration, unfortunately. 4, the habits I mentioned are cigarettes, she is a heavy smoker, and weed. Update. She called me this afternoon while I was at work. My husband and I both work from home, so he was within earshot of the conversation as well, and said she was sorry for calling me a jerk. But I was being incredibly insensitive towards her situation. I calmly explained that I would no longer be giving her money, purchasing her groceries, or assisting with bills, as I am not going to be financially responsible for her habits, or her child. She became upset, saying that because I don't have children, I am child-free by choice. I don't understand how difficult this is. I explained that her life choices are not my problem, and my decision is firm. She was obviously unhappy. I don't know where our friendship will go, but it's now clear she will be receiving nothing from me moving forward.
U/equivalent juice 2395.
Not the jerk. However, you are doing your friend a disservice. You think you're helping her, but at this point, you are enabling her. Stop all financial help. Tell her your inheritance has been spent or is non-accessible due to it being in a retirement fund or whatever you need to say. If she asks for money, tell her you can't afford it. If she says she has no food, then look up local food banks or suggest food stamps. If everyone bails her out, then nothing will ever change. This is similar to a friend of my mother's. She always was short on bills and would ask for money each month to make her mortgage or car payment. Want to know what she always had money for? Eating out at very expensive restaurants, going to concerts, buying expensive name-brand clothes and the newest iPhone every year. Her dad felt bad and didn't want his grandchildren to suffer, so he always bailed her out. He spent almost his whole retirement on bailing her out and ended up having to work until he died in his 80s. She's a 50-year-old woman, still asking for handouts and hasn't learned a thing. Her children are now adults and out of the house, so she has less bills and still no money because of her spending habits.
Yeesh. This is good advice, though. When Jill contacts you again and asks for money, just remember that no is a complete sentence.
Exact. The issue with Jill and her husband is that they live beyond her means, and they are financially irresponsible. They would never learn if they has a financial crutch constantly bailing them out. OP, you're not wrong saying what you said, because it's true. It's a reality check. She needs to hear it. As another Redditor said, if she needs food, tell her where the nearest food bank is. If she needs rent assistance, take her to government assistance, but continue refusing to be her financial crutch because it's only encouraging bad behavior, not the jerk.
And if your friendship is dependent on you funding her life, it isn't a friendship.
Exactly my thinking. If this is OP's best friend, OP needs better friends.
Don't even bother looking up food banks for her. This is only more enabling. If she has time to sit on her phone ordering up pricey takeout, she has time to Google local food banks and other resources herself.
U/Spark wife.
My older sister was like this when she was younger. She'd ask people for money and say she needed it for XYZ, but wouldn't actually use it for that. Her dad never fell for it, though. She would tell him she needed money for groceries, and instead of giving her the money, he would go out and buy her weekly shop for her. She couldn't say no without looking ungrateful, and they both knew it.
U/redneck to debutate.
Not the jerk. Her not speaking to you seems like a win, since she's always asking for money when she does speak. While you were 100% correct, you can't say it if you want to keep her as a friend. Nobody likes another commenting on their parenting. If you're ready to cut them loose, walk away, knowing you're right. If you want to preserve the friendship, you're probably going to have to apologize for overstepping. From now on, just stick with, "I can't do that right now," when asked for money. Do not elaborate and do not discuss it.
I have a feeling this friendship will end when money is no longer part of the equation. The lady contacts Op only because she gets something out of it.
That's my thinking too. The trash just took itself out.
If you want to lose a friend, lend them money.
So the post was tagged with not the jerk in the end. I think this is another cut and clear case. The only issue is the relationship between OP still exists and probably won't last long. A lot of good advice from the community here. Of course, I would also recommend simply cutting this person off. However, I can certainly sympathize with OP in not wanting to cut of someone you've been friends with for a while. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this story. And once again, I'm always open to criticism. Anything you guys can tell me will help. Let me know what you guys thought of the story in the description. And share any stories you guys might have as well. The link to the original post, as always, will be in the description. And make sure to follow for new videos every